Before I found my voice, I found her laugh, the one that raised me, held me, and taught me how to glow from the inside out.
And through every season, every I told you so, every late night talk, she reminded me I birthed more than a daughter. I birthed a whole vibe.
Okay, Mama, don't get cocky now.
I mean, tell the truth, shame the devil.
This podcast is our love letter to each other and to the women who came before us. It's heart, healing, laughter, and just a little bit of tea. Welcome to She Birthed the Vibe. Her laugh, my heart.
All right. Hey.
Hi.
Good evening, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in yet again to another episode of She Birthed the Vibe. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Mia.
And we are super excited to have you join us today. So, as you know, we don't know what topic we're going to talk about today, but we like to pick it out of our box. And so here we go. We are looking for our subject. Survey says...
She stole that from me.
Our subject for the day is walk of faith and how it influences our kids. I love this one because for me, I don't care who it separates me from or identifies me with. I am going with God. And I think this is an important topic to talk about because I hear this about PK kids, preacher kids, church kids all the time. That can be easier said than done. Perception of that has a lot of different faces. And so parents like to think that that's such a good idea, or I'm not talking about such a good idea as far as introducing your kids to faith. I'm saying that parents like to showboat that they have faith, but it's about the perception of those that are closest to them. And so what kind of character are you exhibiting is what I really want to navigate this conversation towards, because walking by faith is a journey. My pastor says that the journey is flesh tested. And trust me, honey, that journey is definitely flesh tested because Ashley Marie, she be trying to show up every day. And so I try to say, soul, I command you to get under the subjection of the will of God. But I would like Mia to just chime in a little bit just on this topic when she thinks of the words that we just said as far as walk by faith and how it influences our kids, like what angle she thinks she wants to go with this.
So I actually really like this topic because it's a really slippery slope. Like either you can bring your kids really close to God or you can just drag your kids so far from it. Like they don't want anything to do with you or God. Or you can push so hard that it ends up the same way and the same result of them not wanting anything to do with it. And I feel like showing God through yourself is way better than trying to tell them to do as I say or do as I do. But first, before we actually get into the topic, I would like for us to give our favorite scriptures to you guys so you can just know. Do you want to go first?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So mine is going to be Romans 5:8. And this one I have is in the Amplified version. And it says, "But God clearly shows and proves his love for us by the fact that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." So I like that because it just kind of shows me there's nothing that I did or even could do to be chosen or to be given the love that I have been given, but it's just a gift to have it. He didn't, there's nothing you can do for him to give it to you. He just gave it to you freely.
Definitely. That's what I love about my relationship with God. So I've been saved since June 1st, 2001. I gave myself to God till I was 14 years old, and then I got baptized on that day as well. And so I sought God for myself, though I was introduced to God because I had a praying grandmother. So shout out to my granny.
But I
had a praying grandmama, and I'm telling you,
that's a meme.
But there is an actual song called From Helen Baylor. It's her testimony about having a praying grandmother.
I've heard that's where they got that meme from.
I'm pretty sure that is.
That's pretty funny.
This is the other thing, friends.
And then my head hit the wall.
Yes, that's from the song.
She said that?
Yes.
Oh, no.
You never heard the song?
Alive?
Yes.
Ain't no way. If she knew on the social media what they were saying, No, it's like, and then my head hit the wall, bow.
Yes.
No, because
she overdosed on drugs and she had went down.
No, because on a video, like it'll be a TikTok and they'll be like, and my head hit the wall, bow. And I'll show up a video of somebody falling. And then it'll be like them the next day, or like it'll just be so funny, but then they'll be like, and I had a prayer in here.
Yeah, so they're probably twisting it up, but it is a real song. We are going to showcase that somewhere around here, but I'm telling you, Granny used to play that song all the time. And Helen Baylor, Testimony, the singer Helen Baylor, and the song is called Testimony, and it is talking about her praying grandmother and how she is living and breathing and attributes her life to the prayers of her grandmother. And I truly think that is my story, because I do believe that the prayers of my grandmother carried me until I became connected to God for myself. And so that is awesome. I didn't know. I actually don't think that I ever let Mia hear it, but if she did hear it, she probably doesn't remember, back in the day. But I recently started bringing that song back into our household, so my younger kids did hear it. But yes, where was I going? Oh, because that was a side note.
That was sidebar.
Because
you were like,
I have a praying
I
grandmother.
said I had a praying grandmother. You're like, then you start singing a song. Like, what?
Yes, a real song, Mia. We're gonna play it later.
And then my head hit the wall.
So yes. Oh, that was what I was gonna say. Side note: these kids think that some of the things that they hear was just created just now, but they don't realize it came from something else. That's what I wanted to say. That's a little,
The millennials be mad.
The millennials. No, we standing on business, and the history is gonna continue to recycle and recycle.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Back to my scripture. My favorite scripture is Hebrews 11:1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. I don't know why I was just freaking out about not remembering it, but I do have problems remembering things. And so I was like, just thinking about it. This has been my scripture for a very long time, like at least like 11 years, 20 years. No, 11. I'll say 11. Solid 11 years. But faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. And so beyond sight, I have always lived my life just believing that God can, because I have seen what God has done. And so I believe that is my scripture, because that is what has helped me through the journey. Like I said, the journey is flesh tested. And I believe that scripture is my favorite scripture, because I could utilize that beyond what was actually happening in my life, and believe that if God took me through a certain situation, I know He can take me through this situation. This situation ain't worse than another situation, and so I know that He has. I also attribute it to other people. Like when somebody else gets a victory, Ashley Marie gets a victory too. My kids hate that because they're like, it's not about you. But I'm like, listen, I'm celebrating too. We all winning. I always say that. But honestly, like if God does it for them, you gotta know that it can happen for you if you truly believe it. And that's what I take away from the parable of the prodigal son. The son who went away came back and everybody had a party. But the son who was there the whole time did all the work, did what he called the noble thing, staying behind and being responsible, became bitter now that everyone wants to celebrate and use the finer things for the son who didn't really do the responsible thing and ran off and lived his best life, so-called best life, then came back home. So you're on the outside looking in and you can't even celebrate when there's a celebration. That has never been me. I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to party. You partying, I'm partying. We all celebrating, because I know if God can do it for you, He definitely doing it for me. And so I'm going to be in that celebratory spirit for when mine comes.
Sometimes it's not even that she be like, she always has a direct mirror to something in her life. Like the God can do it for you, the God can do it for me part. Like that's the understandable part. That's the regular part. The part that she be getting into is she'll be like, somebody will be talking about the randomest thing, and she'd be like, I stubbed my toe once on a Tuesday in 2002. Like, where do we even get that side quest story from? It was a little bit unnecessary. But to the bigger picture, like, I understand it, but we don't really want to hear about how you stubbed your toe in 2002.
So us parents, we know exactly what she's talking about. They don't want to hear our yap sessions, but they'll watch YouTube and scroll through all the other social media channels and listen to those same stories like she just heard the praying grandmother song from a meme, which is actually a song. But if you are listening and if you are a parent, please do not get weary in well doing. They do hear you, like my daughter says all the time. I know she hears me. I do not stress about did she hear what I put down because I see it in her character, I see it in her actions, I see it in her growth. So, don't like fall back because you think it's too much. Though listen to them because there can be a what I want to say excessiveness to that communication. But let's just take it back to when Jesus was here. And as he was walking around, performing miracles and telling stories, that's how come I feel like it's important for me what I do not play with my discernment because one, there used to be a part of me that used to just speak what I want to say when I want to say it, right? But now I have to like really, really be cognizant of when it's me talking or when it's God talking. And I feel like when Jesus was walking around telling those parables, those stories, right? And he was sharing with the people and kind of witnessing to them and trying to like really let them know like this is do or die for you. You need to understand that he's telling these stories and it's relating to all these different things, and everybody's contradicting what he's saying, and they're calling him a hypocrite, and they're calling him greater than they can understand because they don't even understand what he's saying because they're fearful because of what they've been taught. But those parables turned around, and became their salvation, which is our salvation till today. And so I attribute it to being in that time where you could stand at the feet of Jesus and really listen to him, which is why I am a student in every room that I'm in. I'm always learning and I'm not afraid to learn from anyone. I will learn from a 2-year-old and I will learn from an 80-year-old. I don't care your age, I don't care your ethnicity, I don't care your sex. If I'm in the room and I'm hearing something, I want to learn the lesson from that. And so I always reflect my life based off of that journey that Jesus took when he was sharing all the stories and all the years that he lived. What is it, 33? He lived to 33 or 36?
33.
Yeah, I think it's 33, if we are correct. If we're not, do not kill us, people. We are continuously walking by faith. But, within 33 years, I'm 38. Just imagine your purpose was to share as many stories as you had. And just think about if you just withdrew from those stories just because people were like, that's too many stories. His purpose was to tell those stories. And so just know that there's an excessiveness to sharing, and then there's a urgency of sharing. And so that's kind of what I focus on.
There is also a limit to sharing, especially with your kids. Like sometimes your kids don't hear your personal weird stories from when you were in high school, but your stories also have to apply. Like, let's get the analogies together. If I stub my toe, don't tell me how you broke your leg. The stories need to correlate. So I would just say there's like a depth in which you need to go as well, just so that your kids understand you and it's not getting weird. The amount of times that my mom will say something and it's low-key getting weird. It's getting very weird. And then I'm like, I stop listening because I'm like, I don't know. Or how you say it, because how you say it definitely plays an impact on if they're listening. For me, if the volume goes up, my listening ears go down.
True.
Until they're all the way off now I'm just thinking like, I don't really like you.
Check your tone, friends. Check your tone. I want her to go back to the word, I think I was going to say go back to the word weird, I think.
Weird?
When it's getting weird.
It's getting weird. Like sometimes I notice a lot of times that like older generations, the new generations has put some connotations on the words that sounds a little bit freakier. By freakier, I mean like sexual. So something sounds sexual now that y'all probably didn't think sounds sexual. Like a lot of old people say turn on and turn off. Like they'll like be like, oh, turn off. Like, how are you feeling 2 seconds ago? But it just sometimes things have a weird connotation to them now.
When you said turn on and turn off, you meant that was a turn on, like that person turned you on? Or
Right,
you're
like,
saying
but
turn on the lights and turn off the lights.
No, like that person turned you on.
But what did the adults say?
The adults will be like, they'll just say something random like, oh, turn off. Like, oh, they'll like somebody will do something, they'll be like, turn off. So I don't know if you're telling them to like shut down, but y'all need to get a new word for that because we're getting lost in translation.
First of all,
here.
why we gotta get a new word when y'all
Somebody should have wrote
recreating
y'all a
and
book.
No, y'all need the book. Y'all don't understand. Y'all, how you gonna repurpose or put a new definition on the word that we already have?
We are, first of all, because we don't want to say the same
Then
words.
we gotta learn this goddamn
Some of the
new
words
rule
are
book.
the same words, but then parents will get mad when you say things like
tough.
First of all, I have never said that word, so that's the
tough
Gen Alpha kids.
Means that is like very, very like strong. No, now tough means that it is what? What does tough mean now?
That's like cool. Like,
cool. Tough does not mean cool. Who made tough the word cool now? Translation cool. Who did that?
Honestly, it's always meant strong. But like now it just means holding more value.
Let me get the dictionary. What the dictionary say?
She be on Urban Dictionary every day.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you because I gotta pull out a dictionary on these kids because they don't even understand some of the words they be saying. Tough now means cool. What does the dictionary say that the word tough means? Asking for a friend.
Strong enough to withstand adverse conditions.
Period.
Right.
Able to endure hardship or pain. None of that says cool.
I don't know why you're talking to me like I'm the spokesperson for all the young people.
I'm not talking to you like a spokesperson.
Like I
right
don't really
now
care.
You're being it. But no, we're basing it off of the subject of y'all flipping words. Like you said, weird. So when I hear the word weird, you new generation or definitely younger than me say the word weird a lot. And what I might say, I don't think it's weird. I'm having a real conversation, but for you, you're uncomfortable in the situation. So now you don't want to have the conversation.
What does weird mean? Out the ordinary.
It is out of the ordinary, but it's out of the ordinary for you. Because for me, it is just a general subject. Sex is a general subject. Dating is a general subject. Boyfriend and girlfriend is a general subject. Having kid is a general subject. Because it got weird because you don't want to hear me talking about it doesn't mean it's really weird. You're just uncomfortable in it. No, because let me tell you, if she gave y'all any of these conversations she gave us, y'all would be calling her weird all across the country because the way she says it is different. Okay, give me one. I'm pretty sure if I was listening to another person. I ain't got no shame. So give me one example of a weird something weird that you say. That I said. The way that she says scrotum is just so weird. Or the way she talks about her and her husband, like she'll get in-depth details about what she be doing with her man. I'd be like, you're done. I did not do that now. Is that not what you did when we were having that whole conversation? What conversation? When we were all at the gym, we were like, pull out your banana. Okay, so she's talking about I had sex education with my kids. Okay, but listen, guys. At this time, I was the age I am now. So, like, thanks, welcome to the party, but like... So it's weird because you're uncomfortable, though. That's the fact. That is not the fact because I am not uncomfortable. It's simply weird because it is my parent. Weird. Because I'm the parent? Right. But you had sex education in school. I signed the paperwork that said that y'all were going to learn about puberty, about sex. I signed those papers. You did not. You didn't have sex education? I never went to that class. Well, I think that happened I think you're supposed to have it, but then 2020 hit and COVID and y'all didn't have it. But my next generation did have those classes. I know Landon and Riley did because I signed a paper for Landon and I watched the video about puberty that they showed him. I've seen the puberty video, but yeah, that was weird too. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because what I want us millennials and us older generation to understand that even though these kids are calling us weird, that's just their word. And for us, it's like, what you say, icky or out of the ordinary. Odd is what that means, but not necessarily that the conversation is odd. It is just odd to them because I don't know when they want to talk about it. And then that's the other question. So when do you want to talk about it? Because it does need to be discussed. And in what environment can we discuss it or should we discuss it if it's uncomfortable or odd to you? It's only ever discussed at y'all's convenience though, because every time that
Like, let's say
I'm not asking how we did it. I'm asking what do y'all feel like would be the most appropriate approach for you
I was giving my answer.
Huh?
I was just giving you my answer.
Oh, okay, go.
So y'all are saying, like, when do we want to talk about it? But it's only ever talked about on your convenience, on your timing, because technically, on your timing, it would be late on my timing, because I could have been, like, pregnant 4 times already.
From the economy and the statistics of a Black woman, as well as your age group, yes, many are getting pregnant earlier. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. So it's already late.
So I'm already giving the conversation too late because you probably got exposed to it prior to that, or you could
exactly.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, not all kids have inquired, but I know for me, I have inquired before, and then at those times, it's like, oh, like, you don't need to know that right now. But then it's like, you gave it to me too late.
I got you.
So had you had the conversation when the inquiry happened? I feel like if a kid is old enough to ask a question, they're old enough to get the answer.
What y'all feel about that? Put that in the comments because I really want to hear about that. She said, if a kid is old enough to ask the question, or just verbally enough to ask the question,
right? Like, I feel like if they can recollect in their
answer.
mind what they just asked, like, you can ask them, like, there should be a clarification, like, what are you asking me for, like, exactly? But if they can give you what they're asking me for exactly, I feel like you should tell them the answer.
So I do like that because I have always agreed that when you're speaking to kids, you should speak to them like you speak to other adults. As an educator, I have a degree in early childhood education. I specialize in special needs kids, and we always get taught to not do something to a kid that you wouldn't do to an adult, right? And so you don't want to try to do that because then you're like, if you ain't going to charge up an adult like that, don't charge up a kid like that. And so I like that she said that because talk to the kids like you talk to adults. So I hate when people talk to kids like babies, right? Now I do it for fun to my kids, and I'd be like, "Oh, you want your mommy? Your mommy needs your mommy to cook you something." Like that's my cute way of talking to them. But I've always talked to them, like in the real talk, as far as like this is what the layout of the land is. This is what you can expect. But then in my military time, it was like go go go, mission mission mission, pop out like what is it like we used to say not ship up and ship out, but get up and drive on or something. I can't even think of it right now. It's like suck it up and drive on. So my kids can't suck it up and drive on. They're not soldiers. You know what I'm saying? So we can't do that. We can't put the same kind of. It's about the maturity, right? So I can't do that to my kids. Suck it up and drive on just because I'm military, and I did that a lot. So I hate that I did that in the seasons that I did that. But also, like she said, if they're old enough to ask a question, then mature it down to have a conversation with that kid, but have it realistically and not sugar-coated or playing around with it, Like they're asking the question because now they don't have a thought process and they're inquiring. And these kids are smarter than we were. Like they put some things together super fast. Like I said in one of the other episodes, like I go around the corner, down the block, and around the street when she just told me to open the front door. They save a lot of time with their thought processes because they can figure things out faster. Though we were tougher, I am going to not give them that. We were the tougher kids. The real meaning of tough. We were the tough kids because I'm telling you, we could do anything and everything. We knew what our parents wanted us to do, and we was back at the house by that time. But these kids can't go down the street without asking me 20 questions.
I would just like to say that the boomers were y'all's parents and y'all were our parents. So if you have a complaint, maybe you should reassess the way that you were parenting. And then they're like, oh, the world is like so different now. Y'all are the people in the world. Like I'm telling you, we did not just come out here and just start doing all these crazy stuff. Like there were older people before that. So the people who made the world weird had to be some of y'all. Just saying. Maybe we need to ask 20 questions because y'all tell us the world is so dangerous. And then you tell us, well, in 1955,
stay alert,
I was on my bicycle going from Texas to Utah. And my mom didn't even know where I was. There were kids on milk cartons, and there was a commercial that asked where your kids are at 10 p.m. And I did not know where my kids were.
Period.
That doesn't seem like, first of all, where's your mom?
Period.
Second of all,
Working 3 jobs.
Y'all's hardships. My condolences for that, but y'all are our parents, so let's just put a question mark in that.
Question mark. So just going back, teach what you have been taught is probably what most of us did in parenting. We were teaching what we've been taught, but in the Word of God, as we get back to walk of faith and how it influenced our kids, we are showing them what the love of God is. We are showing them what faith looks like. We are showing them what resiliency looks like, and that is by the Word. And so, I know one thing that was consistent is we were always in somebody's church or having some kind of like faith walk as far as in a body of Christ or somebody's body of Christ. Even when we moved, even when my kids go beyond my house, they went to church somewhere else with somebody, connected to somebody. And so my desire has always been for my kids to have a deeper connection with God for themselves, not for me to push it on them. I wanted to show them that, but I wanted them to choose God, because beyond me, you need God. Because I'm telling you, I didn't supply nothing that they have. I ain't even the reason why they're alive today. God saw fit that they should be alive today, that we should be in the season that we're in today, so that we can have this conversation today. And so I know for me, I lean on God. I trust in God. I utilize my resources in God. His hands are bigger than mine. And so that is what I try to live my life exhibiting. No, everybody falls short. Yes. And no, everything wasn't perfect. Right. Because we're all human. Right. So everybody needs to stop holding up the stigma of perfection. We already talked about that. Me and Mia talked about perfection and presence. Like, you cannot be a perfect person in God, because only Jesus was the perfect person. There's only one perfect person, and none of us are going to be that. We all fall short. And if you remember that you are a human being, we all fall short. You shouldn't judge people according to your whatever wisdom or experience, because the same amount of judgment that you give unto others is the same amount of judgment that's going to come towards you. And you need to understand that. Like, I call myself a patient busy bee, because I can look back and I can resemble what people are going through, because my life actually showed me a lot of those experiences. And so I never like look at it and be like, oh, dang, like, you are such a horrible person. Like, I know a really good friend of mine who killed his wife and killed one of her kids. I literally served with him for at least 10 years. I would have never thought that he would do such a thing. But people are people. As a human being, anyone can snap. And so everybody's calling him, he should rot in hell. He should, just die at the stake, throwing stones at him. But in my eyes, it could be me. In any moment of whatever reason or temptation, I could kill somebody too. Because as humans, we all can fall short. We all can get in some kind of a spat where you can get into a situation where you lose your self-control. Now, yes, we are empowered to utilize our self-control and know him killing someone was not okay, and it is not approved by God. That is a sin to murder someone. But the human being is still a human being that falls short. And so I never say things like condemn you. I just pray for the sin. And so I think people should, have a human effect of it, But, there's that is just a perception type of thing. And I wrote that down too. Faith is a perception-based walk, because you might be thinking that you are high and mighty, and then somebody else thinks that you're crap. So you want to make sure that you just are comfortable with whatever God says that you are, and you stand confident in that.
Perception is a scam. That's my unpopular opinion. Because somebody could see you and they could be like, oh, you're so amazing. And then somebody's like, no, you like her. And then somebody's like, oh, con artist. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, as long as you can look at yourself every day in the mirror and be like, I'm cool with this, or like, at least I can live with it, then I feel like that's all that matters. Because people are going to see you and they're going to hate you, or they're going to love you, and
that's their business.
Right. It really doesn't have too much to do with you at this point, because honestly, that's the same thing with like your reputation. You could have the best reputation in the world, and people could meet you in person and you are just Big womp.
Yeah.
Big womp means just so sad.
Mm-hmm.
But people, you could also have the worst reputation in the world. People can meet you. You can be the best person ever. So it really doesn't matter. Like whatever people put together in this little file about you doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And I want to caveat into mommy's knows best list, and so that is the list that I created for my kids, so I can give them all the tips and tools that I know. But when Mia was saying like the perception is a scam, because some of us have one of those faces that it'd be like, don't approach me, right? But we as a person, we can be approached. Now, some people, they face me, don't approach them. Do not approach them, So perception is a scam. It can be a scam because what I wish I would have known as a younger person is that I should not be concerned about what other people are thinking about me, especially the people of God. Because the people of God can be so judgy, and that whole stigma of church hurt can really derail you from your real connection with God. And so right now, in my faith now, it's like it's me and God. Is me and God against the world, right? And so I don't care. Like I said in the beginning, I don't care who separates me from, identifies me with. I'm going with God because I know what me and God talk about. I know what God reveals unto me. And God gives me confirmations about things that I am not so confident about or whatever. And so, or just the things that I don't see. And so if I know that what me and God got going on is okay, let's just say subject of drinking and everything else, the word actually describes all of that stuff. You only have a tolerance level of however strong you and your faith are. So do not get caught up on the list of things like wearing pants and all these other things that people get caught up on. That's man-made description of how faith should be. What you and God, like Mia said, like it is a confident position in your heart that no matter what somebody else says, you know who you are. You know what God made you. You know that the word says that he created you for good and not for evil. So nobody else can prey on your downfall. And I wish I would have told myself or was confident enough to believe that when I was younger and not been so ashamed of what people thought about me and the decisions that I made, so that way I can make better decisions for me and my family. And so my mommy's knows best list tip for today was, I gotta find it because it was too long to be trying to write out. So
okay, well now it's Mia's turn. So.
Wait, I got finished. I got this. My mommy's knows best list item for today is morning should be reserved for God. Pray and listen to worship music or a sermon in the mornings with no other noise. I feel like reserving the morning to get a clarity of mind before you go out there in the chaotic world will set you up for profit and for success better than listening or consuming yourself with any other thing, because when you get out there in the world, that is going to be the most dangerous territory than in your home, because in your home should be the territory that restores you.
Personally, for me, the world would be like cool and it'd be in my home. Well, why are you eating my food?
There you go.
We should just go outside right now. But that's very true. Listening to praise music in the morning. I feel like also it kind of like shocks me more into my day, because like my morning's like very mellow, like very calm, very quiet, and then like it's like everything just hits you like a train in the middle of the day, or whenever I go to school at like 9, so around 9 everybody's on high energy and stuff has already hit the fan, and I'm just like what, like it's like what? How did you even have time to get yourself into that situation?
Right.
But I think it sometimes more shocks me into my day. It also makes me like a lot more vigilant in my day, just of like what's going on. It also sets the tone for me to like be calmer. But I wanted to go back to what she was saying earlier. What did you say earlier before you said all that? You don't know? Bruh. There was something. I remember this one time we were in church and the pastor's preaching and he said, you know the position of a man by the look on his wife and children's faces. Yes. And I really like that he said that, because like a lot of times I see like church families that go to church and all these things, and for me it just be killing me, because I'll see more like, so I'm 17 right now, I'll see girls that are like 15 and they'll be pregnant in church, but I've only seen one outside church, but like I swear it's like in church they're like all together.
So hold on. You're saying that you see more kids that are from church pregnant rather than people who are not of church pregnant?
Yes.
At your
I
age?
see more kids in church that are like strayed. Is strayed the word? Like that are just like
off. What do you call it?
Off trail, off track.
I can't remember the word right now, but I know what you're talking about.
I think they get what I'm saying. But like, I see more kids in church that are strayed by the lack of their parents' churchiness at home. Because it's really easy to be churchy at church. Like, you put on your nice little clothes or whatever, you throw your little hair into a little bun, and you just be like, yes, Lord. But at home, it's very, very different. So if you aren't looking like the face of God in your home, I know for me, I'd be like, this God dude don't even sound for real, honestly, because you out here acting a plumb fool at the house. Like, what are you talking about, God? And then it's very, very like, you will give God such a bad rep in the face of your children. Trying to like, there's a difference between, like, God forgives everyone. But if the only time you seem to bring up God is when you do something insane, it's just not a good look for you. It's like, oh my goodness, I know I've been doing this for 30 years, but the Lord has forgiven me. Like, come on now. That doesn't make any sense. Especially when you're doing it to your kids. Like, your kids see you all the time. And I know like you're like they're at school more, they're at this more or whatever, but your kids see you. And kids these days are a lot smarter than people like to give them credit for because y'all think we're screen ages or teenagers or whatever, but that phone be teaching us a lot.
And they be paying attention.
Friends. And we do pay attention to all the stuff that y'all think we don't pick up on because it's on you always on that phone.
Oh, they listening.
We got it. We're taking in a lot more than people will give us credit for. But your kids see everything. Your kids are sponges. And from like when they're younger, from like 0 to 10, they're really just soaking up everything. And then when I have a very strong opinion on teenager. I don't think I'm that difficult. Now, my family tells me sometimes you walk in the house and everybody just cleanses up and we're scared and we call your father.
We are fearful.
I don't understand
when that man shows up, I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to play no games. Like, I don't even want to approach her because that man, I don't know what kind of tone, mood that is, but that girl is just scary. That's that stone face, man.
I would say I'm going to give my little opinion right here, right? So when your kids are, I'm going to make it a little stretch here. When your kids are like 0 to 12, they will soak up everything that they see. They'll soak up everything that you're giving them. And then when they're teenagers, that's when they're getting squeezed. Like everything that you put in there is coming out.
Right.
So most of the time you can look at your teenager and something that you put in there is coming out, whether it's coming out inverted.
The squeeze is on, friends.
Inverted meaning it's like it's backwards, like whatever. It's in there though. Like they didn't just pull that from nowhere.
Learned behavior is what
it's learned behavior.
Right.
Either they've learned it and they're going straight against it. Like there's rebellion. There's definitely rebellion.
Yeah.
So they're learning it the correct way and they're doing it the opposite.
Right.
Or they learned it the incorrect way and they're simply doing what you're doing.
Right. And now you see it.
Right.
And now all of a sudden you want to have
like, oh no, what are you doing? Like, when you were 15, you were doing the exact same thing. So I think sometimes that parents should be given grace because there is no rule book on parenting, but also if you in the mix of being a parent, like if you're doing parental activities, and I just cannot stand when people will have sex with somebody like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. What? Come on now, Lisa. What did you think was going to happen, Lisa? You thought you're going to get a pony?
Oh, wow.
Like, no. So for me, there's no excuse for when, like, the only time is, like, if it's just, like, straight down non-consensual. Like, you had no choice in this situation at all. But if you're doing the tango and you're not ready to have a baby, like, what? That makes no sense to me. When people are like, oh, yeah, you weren't really planning. Did you plan on having sex with him or was that just a joke? I'm very confused because obviously you planned. So in my opinion, if you're planning to get down, you're planning to get down for 18 years of parenthood. That's
hold on, let me go. Wait. We gotta come back to that. Mia said, if you plan to get down, then you plan to be down for 18 years.
Of parenthood, yes.
Of parenthood, friends.
So that's just my opinion. Also, I feel like I had something else to say. Oh, I feel like one of the things that makes being a teenager incredibly difficult is because you are put in adult situations. You have adult stresses.
Yes.
You have adult tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so many things your parents want you to do, but then the second you are like, you're acting like an adult after all these things that are adult, all these adulting things that you do,
all of a sudden,
then they're like, oh my gosh, you're 12. Mm-hmm. You stop that right now.
Right.
If you would like your kids to act like children, treat your kids like children. If you would like your kids to grow up and act like adults, your kids are only going to grow up as fast as you make them grow up.
Right.
Trust me that, because I know a couple kids, they ain't grown up no time soon. Believe that, their mama tie their shoes.
Oh my God.
But don't parent your kids like they're an adult, or don't leave them all that space to be an adult. Like they have a job. That's an adult thing to do. You can be like, it's a kid thing to do. Yeah, some jobs are for kids, but I see adults working. Same jobs. Mm-hmm. Having a job, like driving is an adult responsibility. Period. Point blank. Putting your kids in all these adult situations, I'm not saying don't let them grow up, but you need to be very clear with your boundaries and things that you're setting, because when you leave this space and the kid starts to take up that space, you cannot be upset about space you gave them to take up. That's just how I feel. You cannot put a kid in adult situations. And then I feel like it gets the scariest for parents when your kids rise to the occasion and they're not like tripping and falling and stumbling.
Right.
When your kid's like holding it down and they know what to do, then the parents are like, my pearls, clutch my pearls. Then everybody just starts flying off the hinges like, you not grown. Right. You stop that now.
Right.
Now there is boundaries, because when I started making my own money, my mom was like, I started making my own money, I was like 16?
Yes.
16.
Fully 16, making your own check deposit in your own account.
Right. There are still things like I can't. She would be like, there are still things like I can't buy. Now she's not like, bring everything that you bought to me before you buy it.
Right.
But there are certain things I know that I am not allowed to have right now.
Right.
So that is a boundary, right? But let's say we didn't set those boundaries and I started taking up some of that space. That would be, for me, that would be on your parent. Now, some things are just like blatant, like your kids know they should not be doing that.
That's the rebellion.
That's the rebellion. The blatant stuff that you know you don't need, like, girl, what? No.
Exactly.
But there's some things that are like, they're really gray areas. And parents love to jump down their kids' throat about a gray area that was never specified. But as a parent, you need to get very specific about this 18 years you said you're about to be down for. So.
I love that. And that's why I love having talks with Mia. And contrary to most people's belief that this relationship is not necessarily mother-daughter, I believe, yes, we are transitioning into a bigger level of mother-daughter, but I do believe that us having an open conversation has helped me to understand her. It has helped me to shift my parenting skills to help her be the most independent, successful her, as well as the most influential in her life and my other kid's life, because she's not my only child, as well as she's not the only child that I influence in my life, and it was because of the influences of other adults that I have the life that I have. And I attribute it to my church families growing up. I went to church. I made church connections. I asked God to come into my life. I desired him from the exposure of my grandma, like I said. And so, God has to be the center of all things. And I'm telling you, at the end of the thing, the character will make the difference, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in this world. And so, though, yes, you may have all these bumps and valleys and mountaintops situations.
I have an insertion really quick. Mm-hmm. My mom always says, character makes a difference. She's been saying that for a little while now. It's sticking to her real bad. But sometimes you will not feel like doing everything. And sometimes it is, you have to be like, oh my goodness, this is a blessing. Mm-hmm. I'm loving it. One time she told me to get up in the morning, and what did you tell me to do? Put some black beans in a bag. She told me to put some black bean burgers in a bag at 6 a.m. after we just stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm just straight out of it. So she wakes me up and she's like, come help me put these black bean burgers in a bag. Mind you, whole time I'm thinking about this, I'm just regretting asking for black bean burgers because I'm sick. So I go down there and I like remember what she said. Like I literally heard in my head what she was like, character makes a difference. So I go downstairs and I didn't say anything. I was just quiet. But that character is also making a difference in a positive way. So just because I didn't say anything, it's like, thank you, mother, for making these black bean burgers. I'm sad. This is a blessing. Like not all the time do you have to be all happy-go-lucky about it. Right. But not the like murmuring and dragging your feet and complaining about things. That's the character that makes a difference. Silence is an answer to, and I feel like I'm learning that because sometimes I don't got nothing nice to say. Right. So I say nothing at all. Right. Because I'm telling you, if I open my mouth, somebody's about to get it. But some people don't understand that because they be pressuring me. But
true. Listen, don't push the buttons. But I love that about Mia because she does know how to turn it on and turn it off. And yeah, it was a tense morning. You know, she asked me for something. I mean, I don't remember. Like, it was like a lot of times she's like, is there black bean burgers? Like, she really likes to eat black bean burgers. And it's something that, it's something that I make from scratch. So, you know, for me on my end, I'm being helpful and I want to make my daughter something. But actually, Marie wakes up at the crack of dawn, 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Nobody else is awake. But I could have struggled as a mom because I was struggling. Like I was going.
She was definitely struggling. I was silently watching her struggle. She was like, her arms are short. She tried to get like on the counter to get in the black bean blender. I'm like, bro.
The process of making black bean burgers is a little bit tedious and a little bit tough and difficult because it takes strength to like churn it, you know, with all the ingredients and stuff like that. And so I was struggling with that part. And so God just told me like, just go ask for help. And so I went to ask her for help. Yes, it was early in the morning. And yes, it was for something that
crack of dawn.
It was something that she wanted. And no, she didn't owe me that help. But if we love each other, me asking for help would not inconvenience her as much as me struggling through it by myself to not inconvenience her. So that's, you know, that's how I thought about it. She fell right into the same situation I was in. Like she knew that this is something she asked for. She don't really want to be up doing it, but she knows if she gets it done, then she can be done with me. And I knew that if I asked her for help, I can get it done faster, and she still gets what she wanted, which is what I wanted to provide, what she asked for.
I got the black bean burgers. I'll be eating them too. But also I learned like, I'm not about to ask my mom for nothing unless I want it right now.
Right.
I really could have waited about a couple of days for the black beans.
Right.
She said, right now, my baby needs black beans now.
Yes. And so, I mean, I love that about me and Mia because we're like in that wrestling ring and we kind of tag each other in and out and we kind of feel each other, you know, and we as a parent, is that weird? Because I said feel each other. She's looking at me crazy, friends.
We don't feel each other.
But we vibing because this is the vibe, right? So we vibing, okay? But, you know, like I have a heart to assist my kids. But Mia said this when she was 8 and I never forgot it. Mom tries to help, but her help is not really helpful. I have never forgot that.
But she just makes things worse.
Right, and I make things worse.
Like she'll try to fix it up so good. Like it's like sometimes when you just a whole wall needs to come down, but she keeps trying to duct tape it. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't always have a solution. But in my mom's brain, like everything's like really snappy. So she's like trying to find like something fast. Mm-hmm. But sometimes she goes in there so head first, her head just runs straight into the wall. Right. And then bang, I'm like, well, thanks for that.
Right. And it didn't really help.
Now it's worse.
Right. So I always remember that. I take what they say at heart. I don't take it personally. It doesn't crush me. It doesn't burn my heart. Yeah, I'm going to cry in my pillow later, but I take it to heart because I want to understand my kids and I want to actually be able to assist them and not hurt them and hinder them. And that's what you can do with the word of God and by forcing faith as well as influencing the wrong way in your faith walk. You have to let it be a time thing. Like it has to grow into that. It takes time. It's not something that you can just jumpstart them and be like, here, you are God-fearing right now. You cannot do that. But I'm telling you, but if you let God do his perfect work, let patience have its perfect work in your life, in your family's life, I'm telling you, they will get the revelation. You will be on the other side of it. And so my top of the hour tip was, don't worry about a thing. Every little thing's gonna be all right. And I'm telling you, on the other end of this thing, everything will be all right. And so we have gone over our time this time. Obviously, this is a heavy topic. We had a lot to say. We might come back to it. We actually have a subtitle with a special guest for this subject. So we will come back after we secure that guest. But I mean, for all of those who have their kids walking in faith, and you're just really struggling with, my kids are not following the faith, don't worry about what it looks like. It would be my last words. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just keep on walking by faith. Do not grow weary in well doing. The journey is flesh tested, and just remember that your kids see everything. They hear everything. They are paying attention, and so just trust that.
I think my last words would be give God some credit and give your kids some credit.
Yes.
Because they understand, and God understands what you're going through. And at the end of the day, not saying wreck your kids, but in the places that you slip, like, God will slide in.
I love that. In the places that you slip, God will slide in. And so again, thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. It was called Walk of Faith and How It Influenced Our Kids. Thank y'all for tuning in. We look forward to talking to y'all next time. Later.
Thank you.